Whereas in IIMs, they can give you up to 10% seats on the basis of EWS. According to the notification, it was 13th. We're getting 24 questions. Out of these 24 questions, 22 last year were multiple choice questions. The only difference will be that instead of CAT 24, that will say CAT 25. We will guide you through that process as well. We will tell you what all you need to carry and what all you need to do. Welcome to this particular session where I am going to tell you all about CAT 25. So when I say all, I mean the exact details of what to expect ahead moving forward. So we were getting a lot of questions about when is the CAT form coming out? What is the process like? So we thought that, hey, why not really go ahead and address that in a single session. So starting with a number, and that number is 21. Any guesses what this number represents? Well, if you are really looking at the IIMs as your target, then you're probably familiar with this number. 21 is the number of IIMs in our country, and as a CAT aspirant you are targeting these 21 colleges along with, of course, a handful of other top colleges as well. Now in these 21 colleges, if I look at the total number of seats, then we'd say that the total number of seats that you are gunning for is around 5,500. Okay, now within these, of course, we have reservations. So for a general category individual, we have close to 2,000, a little above 2,000 seats. Then non-creamy layer OBC, SC, ST, persons with disability, and then you have economically weaker sections. So basically, these are standard percentages, right? So we have 27% reservation for NC OBC, we have 15% for SC, 7.5% for ST, and 5% for persons with disability. Whereas in IIMs, they can give you up to 10% seats on the basis of EWS as well. So these are the seats that you are going to target when you go ahead and write the CAT exam. So one fine day, any day now, you would see a newspaper with this kind of a notification. The only difference will be that instead of CAT 24, that will say CAT 25, and that is when the journey will start. So who can write CAT 25? Majority of the people that I interact with know this, yet I get a surprisingly high number of questions on this too. So in order to write the CAT exam, you need to have a bachelor's degree with at least 50%, and in case you belong to a college that calculates or offers CGPA, you need to have an equivalent CGPA. Now, is it 50% for everybody? Not really. If you are SC, ST or a person with disability, then the eligibility requirement is reduced to 45%. Now, what if you are not a graduate? Can you not apply for the CAT exam? You can, as long as you are in the final year of your college. So if you are in the final year of your college, or you are through with all the final year requirements, you are done with your exams but you still waiting for the results, hey, you can also go ahead and apply to the IIMs. But then if you are shortlisted and selected, it is going to be provisional in the sense that you still eventually need to get this 50% or above, otherwise your candidature will get rejected. Okay, and the process would start when you visit their official website. So on an appointed day, you'd go ahead and visit this website. Of course, it will require some registration fees. This was the amount that they charged last year. These appear to be very round numbers, so I hope that they continue with it. I can actually pray that this reduces, but then we know that generally does not happen. And let's keep our fingers crossed that it does not really go up. So on the appointed day, you'll go ahead and visit the website, and you can apply for this exam within certain stipulated dates. Now, this year's dates, this asterisk is that, hey, I'm not talking about this year's dates, but then we can be guided by the data of the last year. So last year, The notification came out on 30th of July and the registrations opened on 1st of August. So going by that, we should expect the CAT notification any day now. And the last date going by the notification was 13th of September 2024, but the IIMs actually eventually went ahead and extended that last date. So last year, according to the notification, it was 13th, but eventually it turned out to be 20th September 24. And there is this another funny thing. There are people who delay applying. There are people who cut it too close. So there were people who could not apply by 13th September. Thankfully, they got an extension. They could apply, and even then, some people missed out on the application. You know why? The IIMs say that on that last date, you can apply to them by 5 p.m. So normally we think of the last date as last calendar date that runs all the way to 12 midnight. But no, when it comes to the IIMs, the window closes at 5 p.m. when the work day gets over. So there were some people who, despite a week's extension, decided to go ahead and apply on the very last day, and even there they thought that it is open till 12 midnight and they could not fill up the forms by 5 p.m. You are not going to be one of those. You are, of course, going to do a lot better and apply by 1st of August. And don't worry, when the form comes out, of course, there are a lot of details that you're supposed to fill out there. So we will go ahead and guide you through every step of the process so that there is zero ambiguity on your part when it comes to applying to these colleges. Okay, so let's move on. You could download the admit card on 6th of November, and finally the results came out on 19th of December. They like results. When was the exam conducted? Well, the exam last year was conducted on 24th of November 2024. Now, what is special about this date? For the last few years, the CAT exam is typically conducted on the last Sunday of November, and going by that, the D-Day for us this year is likely to be 30th November. Okay, so this is when you'd have the last Sunday of the November month in 25. So that's what you are really, truly gunning for. That's the date by which you want to get ready. So you'll go ahead, fill up the form, show up to the examination center on the appointed day, and once again, don't worry, we will guide you through that process as well. We will tell you what all you need to carry and what all you need to do in order to ensure that you are in the best frame of mind in that examination hall. But once you enter there, you know that you are going to write a computer based exam. Now in this particular exam, you are going to witness 3 sections. So once again, going by the last few years, the very first section is of verbal ability and reading comprehension. This section is followed by data interpretation and logical reasoning. And finally, you have a section on quantitative aptitude. So this is what you typically informally call English. That's your DILR, and that's of course what we commonly call math, although we do at times get picky, choosy, and we say that, hey, quant is different from math. But then going by those conventional labels, that is what we are really talking about, right? So in a way, you can think of the CAT exam as not one exam, but 3 exams that run one after the other without any break. Now, what do I mean by that? So in the exam, you get 40 minutes for each one of these sections, and in these 40 minutes, you cannot switch over to any other section. So 3 consecutive 40-minute exams, where the first exam or the first section is VARC. So in VARC, once again, going by the last few years, we're getting 24 questions. Out of these 24 questions, 22 last year were multiple choice questions, whereas 2 questions were non-multiple choice questions, which are also commonly known as theta questions. Okay, type in the answer questions. Right? Then we had data interpretation and logical reasoning. Last year, there was a tiny change in the exam. So in CAT 24, we got 22 questions here, whereas prior to that, for CAT 21, 22, 23, we actually had just 20 questions. So in a way, the weightage for the DILR section increased a little bit. The time pressure also increased a little bit, because in those exact 40 minutes now you were supposed to go ahead and answer 22 questions, and 10 of these were non-multiple choice questions. And finally, quantitative aptitude, another 22 questions, out of which 8 happened to be non-MCQs, right? So in a way, if I give you a total, we are talking about an exam which last year gave us 68 questions. 20 of these 68 were non-multiple choice questions, and you were supposed to perform well in this exam in order to get shortlisted for the next round. So when we say you need to perform well, see, each one of these questions carries 3 marks. For every mistake, the examiner goes on to deduct 1 mark, right? And we started with a number, remember, 21 IMs, right? Let's also go ahead and finish it with a number, and that number is, so what is this number? So when we talk about getting calls from the IMs, these 21 IMs, if you are somebody who belongs to a general category and has a reasonably good profile, at a score of 95 percentile and above, you start getting shortlisted for the next round. So that is your target. So it's not a score that we are chasing. What we are chasing is a percentile, and that percentile keeps on changing depending upon the difficulty level of the exam and the number of people who go ahead and appear for the exam, write it across different years. So you can figure out where you stand by writing our mock CATs. They can tell you where exactly you stand, and the detailed analysis can guide you further in terms of your preparation. If you're targeting these really top-notch IMs, the old IMs, what is popularly known as Blackie, then will 95 percentile cut it for a general category individual? Not really. In that case, you are talking about, depending upon your background and profile. Okay, so when we say profile, we are talking about your 10th scores, 12th scores, 12th scores, 10th, 12th graduation scores. Then your performance, apart from academics, we also look at whether you have work experience or not, what kind of subject you studied, so that academic diversity comes into picture, then gender diversity comes into picture. In fact, IIM Ahmedabad has improved things a lot over the last few years when it comes to gender diversity through their measures. So those kind of things. So depending upon what your background, your gender, your performance in 10th, 12th grad is, how much of work experience you have, that percentile will get determined. But it can be at times as high as 99.7 percentile for, say, somebody who is a general category engineering male with okayish, reasonably good academic credentials. On the other hand, if you are somebody who belongs to, say, arts, or you're somebody who's done MBBS and then are applying, then even those old IMs are possible after, say, after 97 percentile. But then if I talk about all the IMs, this is the number after which your chances of getting a call after a realistic background becomes a reality. So if you want to reach that level, make sure that you do stay in touch with us and you keep attending our sessions where we'll talk about different areas, different sections, and we'd also ensure that you and I get to practice a fair bit together moving forward. Okay, and in case you have some specific question, if you want us to go ahead and create a video on something that relates to your particular concern, do drop a comment below, and we would definitely try to do that if there are a lot of you who want to know about that particular area. So with that, let me leave you with this thought: chase dreams, not comfort. So from today until the CAT exam is over, forget about comfort. Just stay focused on that goal of getting an amazing, awesome percentile in your CAT exam. And at Physics Wallah, we help you move towards those goals. So let's go ahead, work together, and remember that you and I can achieve a lot together. So that's it from me in this particular session. And we'll of course add a lot of value in the subsequent ones too. Have a great day ahead. See you soon.